The Somatica Method is an embodied, experiential, pleasure-based method that really helps people practice in real time with authentic intimacy. So we're not doing like role playing. It's like if you're my client, Jane, and I want to practice with you, I'm going to say, like I'm going to share I'm going to share my feelings authentically. So when you smile
Mm.
like that, my whole body lights up.
Mm.
Right. So I'm not pretending to be your partner or something. We're actually
Mhm.
practicing intimacy in real time, whether it be emotional or erotic.
Mm. Mhm. And it's going both ways. So you're saying that to me, and I'll be like, "Oh, when you praise me like that, I just feel like the best girl in the world."
Exactly.
And then we say things like that we would feel embarrassed to say sometimes, maybe to someone else.
Yeah, and to be able to ask for that too, because if you know that me praising you is what makes you
Mm.
feel good, then it's
Mm.
good to be able to tell people. Like, luckily, a lot of the young guys who I'm dating, like, they know about love languages, and I'm like, okay, well, I
Mm.
am words of appreciation or words I can't remember what exactly how they call it, but
Yeah, words of affirmation, I think. Yeah,
affirmation, that's it.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
I want, I'm like literally I'll just say to someone on a date, like, so if you have anything nice to say about me,
Go
I'm
for it.
available for that, right? Like that really gets me.
That's brave, I think, to be able to
Yeah,
say that, don't you?
definitely. It took me a long time, but it's like ultimately
Yeah.
that's what turns me on. So what's the point?
Uh, Well, of course, you're going to receive a lot more kind words after that. I would say, for the most part, although don't some people freeze? Fingers crossed. Yeah, they're like, oh, well, check, please. No, I mean,
Well,
do
yeah,
you?
some people have like big, like, well, it needs to be authentic, or they have like freedom wounds. So if you tell them
Mm,
what to do, they don't want to do it or something like that. So,
God,
but
yes.
if
Yeah.
they're asking and saying like, these are my love languages, what are yours? Then I'm assuming that they want to find that out because they want to give me mine. So,
Well, I do think that what you're saying, like this, you're looking at, and you're with males, right? So we're looking at a younger sort of breed of males in San Francisco, right? So, I mean, we're talking about probably the most enlightened pocket of males you've managed to either stumble upon or cleverly find. So it definitely is not always the case, and it's actually bringing to mind an ongoing battle I had with my ex-husband, excuse me, ex-husband, but I think this is valuable to share, which is that, um, there were those moments where I just wanted this kind of comfort. And I was talking to, through words, and I was talking to a girlfriend about it at the time. And she said, oh, you just want good girl, poor baby. And we laughed about it, but I was like, yeah, basically that's what I want. It's kind of that there thing. And so I said to him, it's basically, you don't worry, you can just kind of shine it on, just do a version of good girl, poor baby. And he was like, that is so patronizing. That is so sort of disrespectful to yourself to even ask for that. I mean, and we didn't get anywhere on it because he thought it was inauthentic. If he didn't
mm.
feel it, if he didn't feel I was a baby or a good girl, maybe as well, then why should he say it?
Well, not only that though, but he shamed you for even wanting it. I mean, I'm fine if
Yes.
somebody says to me like, that doesn't feel authentic and I need to wait until I actually have the feeling to say it. And I'm like, great, thank you for telling me who you
Mm.
are. But if they say there's something wrong with what I want, then I'm like, you're totally shaming me right now. And I don't respond to shame. Like, if I want to be called a good girl,
Mm.
which really turns me on in bed, by the way,
Yeah.
or if I want to be
That's
cuddled and held
very
and
nice.
soothed
Yeah.
when I'm sad, like those are wonderful things that many people need, not everybody, but
Mm.
I
Mm.
just I just hate this one size fits all approach to life. Like if I think that I don't want it, like you're not supposed to want it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, shame has got to be such a huge part of this work. Tell me about that. How much does it come up? Where does it come up, and how do you deal with it?
It comes up almost constantly, everybody in the back of their
Mm.
mind, am I normal? Is this okay? Is it appropriate? Um, I shouldn't, all of this, but we're ruthless deshamifiers in Somatica. We made up
Mm.
a word, deshamify, and we
Love it.
deshamify everywhere we see it.
How do we do it? How do we bust shame? What are
Well, I
the
think even
techniques?
just right there, like I said, I named it. Your
naming it.
ex-husband
Yeah.
shamed you.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
say, what's
Yeah.
wrong with those beautiful desires? They're wonderful. I also have them, So one way to deshamify,
Yeah.
if it's true, is to say you also have them, or you can say,
Mm.
I hate society for like putting this negativity
Yeah.
on you and these expectations, or, there's a lot of, we teach like the tools of deshamifying in the training.
Mm-hmm. I love that. I think we all need deshamifying, and there's this idea around shame that I've been carrying, and I'm not sure if it's right, but the idea that shame comes into existence in the sort of in the social construct. It happens between two people, and therefore it can only be dismantled in the social construct. So it takes two people to make it, and it takes two people to break it. So I don't know if we can, I mean, I think we can do shadow work with ourselves. We can notice sort of intrapsychically, like, oh, this shadow came up then. And what was this part of me wanting or needing? And then, send love to that part and do that kind of thing. But shame, it feels like it's made by two.
Yeah, it's made as a form of sort of like social training or social,
Mm,
control. And I think it does need to be undone in connection, because a big way to
connection.
lower shame is when, you say something that you feel ashamed about and the other person goes, what? That's wonderful. There's nothing
Yeah.
wrong
Well,
with
I
you.
always do that too. Yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly, exactly. So I suppose, yeah. So we could say, connection is the antidote to shame.
Absolutely. And I think secure attachment, like knowing someone will love you no matter what you say to them. And also just, pointing out that like these expectations or ideas are ridiculous and everybody's different. And
Mm,
it's,
mm,
important to
mm.
find out who you are, not to try to be what everybody expects you to be or society tells you to be.